You didn't say anything about having someone with you. Certainly not one of her kind.
Excuse me?
Her kind?
Yeah, a redhead, and a hot one at that.
What up, faggots? Happy Thanksgiving to all of you from us at Redonkulous.com Productions and Serial Rabbit 5. This year, I'm thankful for not getting gutted by a bearded nutjob wearing a bunny outfit. What are you thankful for? Put your answers in the comments below, no matter how fucked up they are. And the best responses will get free copies of Serial Rabbit 5, The Epic Hunt. Good luck, gentlemen, and happy hunting.
What's up, faggots? Terrence Pop, Redonkulous.com, and Good Pop showed up for this because I got some good news. Over 33 years, I have traversed the circumference of this earth 2 times by foot while carrying the sum combined weight of a dreadnought battleship. I have seen this fucked up planet from the top down, bottom up, and every layer of shit in between. And sometimes when you're sorting through all those layers, with the top down and the bottoms up, you learn some shit. And I'm gonna tell you the few things that I learned in the military. All right, gentlemen, you might not need the alcohol today, but go ahead and pour the menagerie because it makes everything funner, let's just admit it. Yeah, number 1, and it's number 1 for a reason. I remember as a young man, I got to see the real world exactly how it is, and it sucked. Listen, vacations, they sound great until you have to go to a second or third world country with 80 pounds on your back with a rifle. And you're right, there is pussy there, gentlemen, but you gotta be careful or you'll wind up with a permanent rider down there. And with that, we move on to number 2, and I could call it number shit. I might as well be telling you that gravity works and round things roll and heat is hot because the news fucking lies. This has nothing to do with President Trump and his fake news war he has going on right now.
You are fake news.
I knew this was true decades ago because I seen it on the ground. I was on the ground in Iraq. I saw how shit unfolded, how my men interacted and what actually happened. Then 24 to 48 hours later, it's completely different on our news networks. And this is why, if you have a goddamn brain in your skull, you don't watch the news. These are corrupt, multi-billion-dollar corporations, and it is in their best interest to make you think what they want you to think and believe.
Shut it!
So here's the rule of thumb. If the news tells you something is good and it has to do with politics, probably not. Case in point, Antifa, the news doesn't cover them as much as they should. And when they do, they put a spin on it. They won't call them what they are, a fucking domestic terrorist group. And if you ask that flaming bundle of sticks, Don Lemon, over at CNN, who the biggest terrorist threat is,
we have to stop demonizing people and realize the biggest terror threat in this country is white men.
Wow! I didn't think that much hypocrisy was possible in just one sentence. Not to mention racist, sexist, and isn't your husband white? Screen 5, now fuck that. And number 3, and this one's one of my favorites because I actually make money doing this. I have learned how to anger anyone, anywhere, anytime. It's a phenomenal skill and I wish I could put that on a resume. And in today's day and age, this politically correct charged environment is way easier than it sounds. Because now we live in a time and place where the millennials get offended when you refer to them as snowflakes. Oh, I'm sorry, did I hurt your feelings? Do you want your trophy to look like a pacifier or a butt plug?
You again.
And number 4, this one's gonna gross out a lot of you guys out there, so put everything down if you're eating and pick up a shot. I have learned how to eat or drink anything, and I mean almost anything, and do it fast. I'm not talking about bugs or weird animals, because quite frankly, that's kind of appetizing when you're that hungry. I'm talking about spoiled meat, riddled with maggots, made into a stew that tastes like chicken. And drinking water with mosquito larvae still wiggling in them. Oh, tasty. And I'll tell you what, that water gets way better when you find out about secret ingredient number 5. When in doubt, use hot sauce as the universal spice because it covers up just about everything. And it doesn't really matter what those mosquito larvae taste like because you're gonna be hammered, which brings us to number 6. I learned how to drink like a fish. Oh, is that a surprise to you? 'Cause I couldn't imagine why. You have not gone drinking until you've gone out drinking with military men, I'm just saying. We went out drinking one night, and the first sergeant said, everyone will be at formation at 9 o'clock. 2 men were strapped to their bunk frames, standing up in formation. And the drill sergeant walked by and puts his hand on her throat and goes, oh, they're still alive. All right, they're good. And they carried him back upstairs. If you have a harpy for a wife who thinks you're an alcoholic because you have 3 to 5 beers a week, send her out drinking with your army buddies and see what happens to her. She'll return with a whole new appreciation of how little you drink, and she might be dripping a lot of fluid, if you know what I mean. And you want to know what helps when you're that fucking tanked? Number 7. You'll learn how to sleep anywhere, on anything, at any time, and sometimes with anyone, as long as it's your type of appetite, if you know what I'm saying. I know there's a lot of dudes out there that had the Coyote Ugly situation, and you know what that is even if you don't know what it is. That's when you wake up with a wildebeest over your arm and you're like, oh God, and you're looking for your Swiss Army knife just to cut the arm off because it's worth it. Well, at least you use protection. You don't remember putting that condom on, but when you awaken, it's still on your penis.
Vice President Mike Pence has a policy. He is never left alone with another woman unless his wife is in attendance. And for that, liberals called him sexist right before they turned Me Too into a modern-day witch hunt. Who's laughing now? Be smart and buy the Pence Principle on Amazon today. A link is in the description.
Speaking of those compromising situations, we come to number 8. And ladies, you might hate me for this, but it is the truth. Beauty is just a light switch away. It just got dark in here. Listen, I know there's a bunch of dudes out there who are sitting next to their significant other, and she's looking at them, and he's just like, well, he's obviously lying. I don't know what he's talking about. You know what I'm talking about, gentlemen, but don't worry. Your secret is safe with me. And number 9, and this will really help you out in the real world, you learn how to lie by not lying. In the military, we called that tactical vagueness or strategic unawareness.
Did you go out with your friends last night after I told you to stay home?
Well, I hear you. And number 10, and you will learn this even though you don't want to, and you will use it the rest of your life, and it simply is this: how to be a proper buddy fucker. We've all seen that guy. They're asking questions, and you have that one guy going, well, the last person I saw there was Steve. Just got ran over by the bus. They are the worm, and the Blue Falcon just gobbled them up. Gentlemen, I don't care how honorable you think you are. Sooner or later, you're all gonna do it to different degrees. But you will learn how to deal with it because of number 11. You will gain the ability to take superhuman amounts of bullshit. And a side effect of having all of that bullshit slung at you 24/7, you will develop the patience of a saint because you realized that everyone's gonna lie to you, the world's a shitty place, and your buddies are gonna buddy fuck you. And on top of that, we got number 12. You will learn how to roll with it, how to drive on. Even when you're tired, and terrified, and thirsty, hungry, no matter what, even all of those, you'll still perform like a champ. And you wanna know why? Because when you're in the military and you don't wanna do it, that's too fucking bad. You're gonna do it anyway, so you might as well make the best of it. And it doesn't matter if you cry or it hurts your feelings or you get offended or who you bitch to. That brings us to number 13. Because the people you bitch to, you realize that they probably should not be in charge of you. I wish I had a nickel for all the commanders and people in charge who I literally looked at and went, that person's in charge of me? We are fucked. And a lot of these people got to the top by buddy fucking, sucking dick and kissing ass, or doing all three at the same time.
Ooh, yeah.
And you learn how to do all of those things too, but also you were very busy learning number 14. You learn how to shoot, move, and communicate, which is the bread and butter of the Army. And you learn how to do all of that with an ungodly amount of pressure upon you. So when you go to civilian world, you're like, that's nothing. You want me to move all those pallets over there? Done. You want me to move all that shit up to the top shelf on the non-rated ladder? I can do that. Because at the end of the day, and you really don't need the military to teach you this, but you gotta do what you gotta do. And that's a man rule, and I made an episode about it, here it is. And number 15, and I'm gonna sound kinda like a socialist here, but here we go. You'll learn how to steal without stealing, if that makes any sense. And I called it reappropriation, and my vets out there know exactly what I'm talking about. Pioneer tools, radio parts, antennas, tires, Humvee door, if it's not fucking tied down and you need it, you're like, you will run off in the dark, local with a Humvee door on your back.
But those aren't marked 414 Civil Affairs.
Well, it doesn't say that on my hand receipt. Because technically, it's not stealing because everything's owned by the Army. You're just moving it from one place to another. And in the Army, there's only really one thief and everyone else is just trying to get their shit back. And that's not an argument for Bernie voters. You fuckers, just go to a different channel. You can go ahead and watch the Young Turks, you know, those genocide-denying pieces of shit that they are. I don't know what to say. Every time I see that fat tub of shit, I just want to kick his ass. But then I realize that's just evil Pop talking. Bad Pop is like, you know, I could really go for a good ass kicking right now. But good Pop is like, you guys are out of your goddamn mind. You're too fucking old. Just talk shit and shut up. And then my producer's back there saying,
that tubby tit farm will eat you.
We'll see about that. Did you hear that? We just called Shank a tubby tit farm, and that brings us to number 16. You'll learn how to take an insult like a champ, and you learn how to dish them out. Winning. Because in the Army, you're gonna run into people from all walks of life, and you don't care what color they are, because at the end of the game, you just want to get done alive. But you will find out real quick about the Yo Mama line. And if you don't know what that is, pour yourself a shot, because we's gonna explain it to you. You will realize that there is an invisible line that runs through the United States, and anyone south of that line, if you talk about their mother, it's an instant fight. North of the Yo Mama line, that's where the jokes start. Fuck, in basic training, I had 13 fights alone, and half of them were Yo Mama fights. And really, like, some guys would take anything to be like, your mama, you talk about my mama? Yep. I'm like, yeah, actually I am, come on. You know? And then when those dudes are done trying to break your face, you learn a valuable lesson in number 17. You'll learn how to fix just about anything with a few key ingredients. Number 1, duct tape. We called it 100-mile-an-hour tape. And number 2, 550 cord, which is really green parachute nylon cord. Number 3, super glue. Works on everything from tears in your bag to fucking knife wounds, really. And number 4, shoe goo. And if you haven't heard about that, get yourself some. It's a rubber compound, and once it dries, it is strong as fuck, it's waterproof and flexible. You got a sole coming off? No problem. Boom, done.
Uncle Nick goes back to college to fuck beautiful women and hand in essays of truth. Essays that not only piss off the fictional professors and libtards in his world, but are causing real-world feminists to lose their minds. Get the book that's filled so many leftist pants with shit and pick up Burning the Midnight on Amazon today. A link is in the description.
And number 18, you'll learn how to endure bone-gnawing pain. And you want to know why? Because you're in the goddamn Army and no one gives a shit, and they'll just tell you to take Motrin and drink water and drive on anyway. Unless you have a bone sticking out of your flesh or one of your limbs is bent in a way it shouldn't be bent, you're gonna get the fuck up and drive on. And you'll learn how to do all of that without crying. And number 19, you'll learn how to say goodbye to your loved ones without crying also. And that doesn't make us robots, we just learn not to cry in front of people, but there are a few exceptions. Listen, if you have a close friend who dies, like a pet or somebody you've known for your whole life, or a family member dies, you know, you'll get a pass. Other than that, there are no excuses, and that brings us to number 20. Not only will you not cry when you say goodbye to friends and family, but you will not cry when you're burying said friends and other soldiers you served with, and you will look like a professional when you do it too. Listen, you want to know why? You will not disrespect the individual being laid to rest, no matter how much it hurts you. You will do it professionally. And that's not heartless to say, because I've done it myself for many soldiers, and I want them to do it the same way for me when it's my turn. And that brings us to number 21. You'll learn how to take an ass chewing like a champ.
You'll be shot for this? Nah, I don't think so. More like chewed out. I've been chewed out before.
We're talking about metaphorical ass chewing, not literal, because there's some sick fuckers out there, just saying. Listen, I'm gonna just put it out there. You have never taken an ass chewing until you had one by a general, and I've had 2. In fact, after 33 years in the military, my ass has been chewed into a Charlie Brown ghost ass. If I had to do another 33 years, it would be hollowed out and inverted. In fact, after a while, you get so used to getting your ass chewed, it's just par for the course. And eventually, you'll start rating those ass chewings on a 1 through 10. Not that I did that or anything. And I just want to say, gentlemen, every time I did that, it went over so well. I see where you're coming, sir. In fact, on a scale of 1 to 10, this is about an 8. You could do a little better.
Get the fuck out of here!
Roger that. At number 22 are 2 things that are all but forgotten in today's snowflake generation, and that is honor and integrity. In reality, to do those 2 things, you only have to do one thing, and that is keep your goddamn word. It's just that simple. Because when you keep your word, you take culpability for your actions and inactions. I know that's a lot to ask of the Bernie voters of today, but whenever you point that finger to blame someone else, there's 3 pointing at you.
But it's not you. It's white men.
And part of being an honorable person is learning how to share, which is number 23. I'm talking about sharing the last bite of food that you have. Your bug spray, medicine, whatever it takes. You'll do it. I'm gonna tell you about some fucking sharing. I'm O-negative blood type, and there was a few times I've been earmarked to give blood for somebody who fucking needed it. And they lived because of it. Because when somebody's laying on the deck dying, there's a big difference between jamming the needle in your own arm and asking the government to do it for you. Hey, I know we're taking a lot of cheap shots at the snowflakes, but they make it so easy. You want to know what's not easy? Number 24, pissing in a funnel at the back of the C-130 in flight. Oh my God, comedy galore. Towards the back of the aircraft, right by the tailgate, there's a funnel that sticks out the side of the aircraft, and there's like maybe a 12-inch courtesy screen. And you stand up on a thing and you grab a little loop and you're trying to pee in this bucket while the bird is flying around. I've seen guys fall. I've seen guys do a 180 while hanging onto the loop and piss. I mean, it's hilarious. He's got to go piss. All right. People wake him up. He's going to go piss. And that leads us into number 25, and probably the reason for this show is you learn how to find humor in anything. Hell, I made whole episodes making fun of myself because I was so stupid when I got married. And you want to know why? Because it's fucking funny. And if you can't laugh at yourself, you don't have the right to laugh at anybody else. And that brings us to number 26. You learn how to play stupid, but more importantly, you learn when to do it.
What? When did he say that? During the op order, I was taking a piss.
In fact, this leads into number 27, which is one of the most important things I learned in the military. In fact, I made a whole episode about it. It's called Administrative Violence. Check it out. And that is where you play stupid just long enough to use the organization's own rules and regulations against itself. Glorious. And you can also do this in divorce court. Made a whole episode about that as well, the full Monty. 33 years in the Army and a list of 27. Hell, there should be 33, but I got blown up and I have dyslexia and I forget things. What are you gonna do? I know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna carry on with the rest of my day. You're gonna check out the links below for Patreon and PayPal and send us a couple bucks, because this shit is goddamn expensive. But, you know what's not expensive? These shirts. Go to patrolbase.net and get yourself some official Redonkulous swag. There's all kinds of sizes and shirts available, as long as you're large or extra large and you like red or black. Because variety, it's the spice of life. And I like a wide variety of women. And I also like a wide variety of subscribers. So hit the subscribe button and the bell so you're notified when we make new videos. And if you don't, that's just fine, because next time I piss in that funnel, I'm gonna make sure it's over your bed. No, I mean, it got to the point where, I literally, I know it's bullshit. I had, there were sometimes I would take ass chewings, and I wasn't even there. I didn't even know what the fuck was going on. I'd just step in there, Well, yeah, yeah, okay. Never happened again. Roger that. Or when I give him the, sir, on a scale of 1 to 10, this ass chewing was about an 8. Could have made more eye. Get out of my fucking office, Roger that.